We usually don't give the glasses sitting on our nose or tucked into our pocket a second thought. They're just there. But if you look closer at these two pieces of glass in a frame, you'll find a history that's actually quite bizarre, full of emperors, secret judges, and a surprising amount of physical struggle. If we go back to ancient Rome, there's this legendary story about Emperor Nero. Imagine him sitting in the stands of the Colosseum, watching gladiators fight, but instead of just squinting, he's holding up a polished emerald to his eye. Historians still debate whether he was using it as a primitive lens to see faraway action, or if the green tint was just the world's first pair of sunglasses to shield him from the Mediterranean glare. Either way, the idea that the first glasses were precious gemstones is a pretty stylish start for an everyday object. But here's the thing that really gets me. For nearly half a millennium, glasses didn't have arms. There were no temples to hook over your ears. People had to hold them up with their hands like a magnifying glass, or pinch them painfully onto their nose. Some people got desperate and tied them to their ears with ribbons, or even hooked them onto their hats. It wasn't until 1727 that an English optician finally thought, hey, why don't we just extend the frame over the ears? While the Europeans were struggling with ribbons, the Chinese were using glasses for something completely different. Back in the 12th century, judges used sunglasses made of smoky quartz. But it wasn't because the courtrooms were too bright, it was because they needed a poker face. They wore those dark lenses so that the accusers and the defendants couldn't see their eyes. They didn't want anyone to catch a glimpse of their reactions or guess what the verdict might be before it was read. Of course, not everyone was a fan of this technology. During the Middle Ages, glasses were often looked at with a lot of suspicion. Some people actually thought they were tools of the devil or a form of magic. The logic was that if God intended for you to see poorly, trying to fix it with glass was interfering with the divine plan. On the flip side, once they became more common, they became such a massive status symbol that people who didn't even need them would wear empty frames just to look wealthy or educated. Eventually, people like Benjamin Franklin got tired of the limitations. He was both nearsighted and farsighted, and he hated constantly switching between two pairs of glasses. So, in a very typical I'll just do it myself fashion, he cut the lenses of both pairs in half and stuck them together in one frame. And just like that, the bifocal was born. It was a masterpiece of practicality that we still use today, proving that sometimes the best inventions come from pure frustration. But as much as we talk about glasses as a symbol of wisdom, there is a much darker side to this story that happened not too long ago. In the 1970s in Cambodia, glasses became a terrifying mark of a target. When the Khmer Rouge took power under Pol Pot, they wanted to restart society at year zero. They wanted to get rid of all modern influence and turn everyone into peasant farmers. To them, anyone with an education was an enemy of the revolution. Since only the educated or the intellectuals usually wore glasses back then, a simple pair of frames became a death warrant. Soldiers, many of whom were just illiterate teenagers, would see someone wearing glasses and assume they were a doctor, a teacher, or a lawyer. People were so desperate to survive that they would smash their glasses or bury them in the dirt. Those who were legally blind had to stumble around and pretend they could see perfectly, because even a slight trip or a squint could look suspicious. It's a chilling reminder that an object we see as a tool for clarity was once seen as a crime. It's strange, isn't it? This little device has been an emperor's emerald, a judge's mask, a sign of magic, a status symbol, and even a tool of survival. So next time you put on your glasses or see someone wearing them, just remember, you're not just looking through glass, you're looking through centuries of some of the most intense stories in human history.